Here's how much I made in September and October of this year by publishing low content books on KDP. And spoiler alert, my royalties just about doubled from September to October. So, before I get into the numbers, some background is that I have been publishing on KDP since July of last year, but it's only been in September that I kind of decided to take some steps to take it more seriously. In the past, I had been pretty casual and pretty on and off about uploading books or doing proper keyword research. So in September, I decided to buckle down and really see what I could do to increase the royalties I was making. So, what did I do to take things more seriously? Well, number one, I finally invested in like a paid keyword research tool. I had never done that before. And the one that I chose to purchase was Publisher Rocket because I had heard a lot of good things about it. And it is a really fun tool. I'm really enjoying it so far. And I think it has been helpful in finding um, finding keywords that are more searched for and less competitive, and also just validating the ideas for keywords that I already have. It's a lot of fun. The other thing that I have been doing is I started dabbling with ads. And it has definitely been a learning curve. I've just set up a few like automatic lottery ads and still very much a beginner when it comes to ads. So I'm not going to talk too much about them. But I do think that they have helped with my sales despite not necessarily being profitable. But I'll talk more about that later. Let's get into what I made in September. So, for September, my royalties were $257.29. Yay! And as you can see, I have about 340 books right now. At the beginning of September, I had about 325. So that's kind of what we're looking at book wise. In September, the day that I made the highest royalties, I made $22.18. And then my lowest royalty days were, as you can see, there were a couple of days where I didn't make anything. This is still September. 88 books were ordered in total. And for those of you who want to do the math, that means I'm basically making about $3 per sale, a little bit less. Here are my top 10 books, like my highest selling books. I think this is really interesting because from my top best selling books, I've made $127.34 in royalties, which is about half of my entire month's royalties. And if you will look, I wanted to point out that yellow color you're seeing that begins about halfway through the month, more towards like the last week of the month. That is representing my very first coloring book that I published. That I published in like the first week of September or so, and it started selling quite a bit, quite decently towards the end of September. So that's really exciting. Okay, as I mentioned, I did start spending money on ads in September. It's my first month doing ads. And in total, I spent $74.18 on ads. As I kind of mentioned, they weren't necessarily profitable ads. But I had decided, even before I started the ad campaigns, that I was willing to spend a certain amount of money on ads, even if it wasn't profitable, because I wanted to get my books seen. And I think that's what these ads did. So even though I lost some of the profits on ads, I'm really glad that I did the ads because not only did it get me some information on what people were clicking on and what search terms they were using, but some of my books that I thought would never sell, that had never sold, and I thought they were lost forever in the dark abyss of the 10th page of Amazon search results. They sold because of ads. They sold their very first copies, and then after that, they sold a couple of um, books organically. So I think that is thanks to ads. And so I'm going to keep working on fine tuning my ad skills. But in the meantime, this is what we've got for September. And so if we do the math, my net profit after subtracting ads was $183.11 for September. So, okay, not bad. But as I mentioned, October is much better. So let's see how October went. In October, I finally hit $500 in royalties. Woohoo! Just barely, as you can see. It was really funny because I was hoping I can make $500 around like the last month of October. I was like, oh, I'm so close. I think I can do it. But then my sales just like dropped like some of the last few days of October, and then on October 31st, I got enough to just barely get me over $500. So I was really excited about that. My highest day was $42.88 in royalties, and I didn't have any days where I didn't make any money at all. So that's cool. But I did have one day where I think I just made one sale, and that was $3.10. In total, that was 186 units ordered, which is like 100 more than was ordered in September. Super cool. And my top 10 for October, in total, I made $284.73 in royalties just for those 10 books, which is more than I made for all of my books in the entire month of September. So thank you to these 10 books. Woohoo! As you can see here, this blue, this is the coloring book that I was talking about that I created back in September. It continued to sell in October, and it made me over $100 just from that one book, which is really awesome for me for my first coloring book. I'm really, really happy I decided to publish it. So for my ads in October, I spent $61.69. Again, my ads weren't super profitable in October, but I was still experimenting and learning, so no regrets. But if we subtract my ad expenses, my net profit for October is $439.27, which, as you remember, September was 183. So my net profit for October was over double of what I made in September, which I'm super excited and happy about because I really didn't publish that many more books. I only published about 15 books in September and October, but my royalty amount went up so much. So that's really exciting. And there's a few reasons why I think it went up so much. I think it's partly thanks to my friend publisher Rocket that helped me validate my ideas for my new books and to also brainstorm keywords that would be profitable and that would be helpful for the books I was already publishing. Also, trying out ads. Again, I still have a lot to learn, but I know that my ads helped with organic sales because I did get some sales from my ads and it helped my book become better ranked, which helped people to be able to find it easier and to find it organically. I also think that it's thanks to focusing on publishing more higher quality books and spending more time on the interiors rather than just publishing blank notebooks, which I've also done in the past, but focusing on quality, not quantity. The books that I have published, even though they're new, the books I've just published in September and October have already done a lot better than a lot of the books I've published in the past. Also, of course, I'm so glad I decided to venture into a new niche for me, coloring books, which I was always afraid to try because I thought they would be too competitive. But I'm really happy that my coloring book has sold so many copies, and it makes me want to do more and more, venturing into popular niches to see that if I can actually compete with those niches and earn some royalties. I did wonder also if October is just naturally a more profitable month, and that's why my royalties basically doubled. I think that's possible because it is the beginning of quarter four. But I did want to point out that last year, my royalties from September to October were about the same. And in October, they were actually even a little bit lower. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm overall just really pleased that my royalties have gone up. We will see what quarter four brings. I'm really excited to see what November and December bring. And I am so grateful for you for watching. I would love to hear about your KDP journey. So please leave a comment about it and let me know if you have any questions.